Hello guys, we are back with our next lecture. In this lecture, let us go through water guys. So how water can be stored and how water should be purified. We'll be discussing in the next lecture. But in this lecture, we'll be going through how it is stored, how you can transport it. Okay, and even along with food also we'll be discussing in this lecture only guys. In the last lecture, we discussed about some basic things about food. So let us continue in this lecture. Okay. So basically, whenever a disaster has occurred, okay, so the common needs of the people or the victims is that they need food and water. So even without food they can withstand for a few days at least, but without water they cannot withstand guys. So that is the reason why water is one of the most important thing for a human. So even whenever someone says that they are doing fasting and all those things, they cannot do for a long time without water guys. So they will be feeling thirsty and they cannot talk after some time also. Their voice cannot be high, right? So that in that way there will be multiple issues if they are not drinking water. Okay. Okay. So prepare an emergency water supply. So basically whenever there is a disaster, you should plan something for each and everyone, right? So if there are 100 victims, you need to plan for each and everyone. Okay, so store at least 1 gallon of water per day for each person and each pet. Okay, so basically you might be having a doubt that what is this gallon now. So gallon is a measuring unit of water guys. So 1 gallon is nothing but 3.785 liters. Okay, so each and every person approximately drinks that much of water. So that's the reason why we are saying that we require 1 gallon of water per a particular person per day. So you might be thinking that okay, for one day it will be enough. Yes, it will not be enough. So that is the reason why you should at least plan for 3 days of supply for each person guys or pet. So even if possible, you can extend it up to 2 weeks. So basically if there is a disaster like a flood, earthquake, or droughts, anything it might be, you cannot say that the effect in news and everything they'll be saying that for 2 days it will be coming in the news or 3 days it will be coming in the news, but the effects, the things to go into normal positions, it might take weeks and months guys. So that is the reason why the people, the victims should be given a proper supply of everything, right? So that is the reason why you should plan for at least it's if possible for a 2-week plan. Okay. Okay, and one more thing is that whenever you are creating anything or you are preparing something, you should always maintain expiry dates guys, because the food may reach after 1 or 2 days. So if you mention the expiry date, so the people can see those expiry dates and they can decide that whether to eat or not. Okay, because eating expiry food will be really dangerous because it is really crazy, right? Yes, so it will be leading to many health issues and food poisoning and all those things. Okay. Okay, so you need to specify the expiry dates and all. Okay, store a bottle of okay, so basically for cleaning and everything also you need to maintain everything. Okay. Okay, similarly water containers. Okay, so basically you might be having it out that okay, so basically for each and every person we should take a bottle or anything like that, you might be thinking, right? So basically you can say that there is no need of that also. You need to maintain some containers to store the water guys. So few conditions for the containers are like they should not be made of plastic, like that there are few conditions. Okay, so that we'll be discussing in this lecture, like you should clean them properly, how to store them we'll be discussing. Okay. Okay, so unopened commercial bottles, bottled water is a safe and more reliable emergency supply. So basically we will be getting some small bottles like 1 liter 500 ml bottles like Bisleri and all those things, like yes. So those sealed bottles are really best for disasters management guys. So basically you can just supply them to anyone, right? Because I'm saying because it is of a low quantity, you can carry it in plastic bottles also, there will be no issue, right? Okay, so that is one solution. So use of food grade water storage containers. So basically by using some kind of containers. So you might be having a doubt that okay, so if we use some containers there could be multiple issues, right? So basically the containers should be followed few steps guys, like you should clean it properly, you should sanitize it. Okay, so the first step is nothing but wash the container with dishwashing soap and water and resin it. Okay, so you need to wash it clearly guys. Okay, then you need to sanitize the container by adding a solution made up of 1 teaspoon of unscented liquid household chlorine bleach. So you need to clean it basically using sanitizer or using sanitation, you need to do, that's it. Okay. Okay, then you need to cover the container and shake it well. So basically like how you will be cleaning your glass guys or your cup after your tea, like that. How you will be cleaning it? So the same process you need to do it. So first you need to apply the soap and all those things, and then you need to shake it with water and everything, and then you need to wash it, and again you will be washing it and you will be drying it, right? So the same way. So wait at least 30 seconds and then pour out the liquid, sanitize the solution, and then empty it out. Okay, so these are some basic steps. So there will be some things to avoid also, right? So the things to avoid are nothing but container that can be sealed tightly. So basically the container, you should be able to have a cap or something so that air cannot go inside, or any kind of insects or any kind of bugs cannot go inside. So that's one of the most important thing that you should remember. Containers that can break, such as glass bottles. So carrying glass bottles is really dangerous, right? So even when you are carrying in your bus or in your local train, easily it can break anytime, right? So that is the reason why never use glass items or any breakable items as a containers for water. Okay, so containers that have ever held toxic solids or liquid chemicals. So if there are chemicals which are stored previously in those jars, there is a high chance that those odor, taste will not be cleaned off. So it is always a best option to avoid those kind of containers. And plastic or cardboard bottles or jars and having used for milk or any kind of other juices and everything. Okay, so you need to avoid them. Okay, so I hope everyone got some basic idea. Okay, so for proper water storage, so basically these are some steps you can use for proper water storage. So basically in some places, like your mother will be placing some kind of chits for each and every jar, right? Okay, so if it is a sugar jar, she will be writing on a slip of paper and she will be sticking it, so that if someone else like your father want to do something, then he can also do it, right? Yes, so that is the reason why in that you need to label it. So label the container drinking water and include the storage data, like how many liters is there and what is the purity and what are the levels of everything if they are specified. Okay, so replace stored water that is not commercially bottled every 6 months. Okay, so you need to replace it as per the needs and everything. Okay, keep stored water in a place with a fairly constant cool temperature. So basically the temperature should also be like in a room temperature, guys. It should not be too high, it should not be too low. Okay, so do not store the water in direct sun. Yes, do not store water container in the area where toxic substances are being sprayed or used. Okay, so this is how you can store the water, guys. So I hope everyone got some basic idea, right? Okay, so basically what will happen after a disaster occurred, guys? So they need some food, they need some they need some food, water and all those things, right? Okay, so food. So these are some basic definitions of the things, guys. I hope everyone can read them, right? So food is nothing but the people what they are eating, and whenever there is any kind of issue, the food is mandatory, like floods or any kind of disaster. Similarly, the same situation with water. Okay, so for daily activities also we'll be using water, so it is 100% mandatory. Okay, so I hope everyone got some basic idea about water, right? So now let us go through some basic conditions for food. Okay, so throw away the following food. So basically the food, if there is some kind of issues or some kind of problems with the food, you need to throw away it, right? So basically if the food items are kept in refrigerator, so assume that you made some rice or something and you kept in refrigerator. So after some time you will be getting some odor, color and texture, the changes will be occurring. So in that kind of situations you need to throw it off. Okay, similarly any kind of items with meat, fish, eggs and everything, if they are stored for a long time, like see here, around 4 hours or more, the smell of the food item will be coming out. So those kind of food items you should throw away. Similarly food items which are packaged or cans. So basically in some cities they will be providing the food in cans also, guys. So those kind of food also, if it is opened or if it has been expired, it is always a best idea to throw away. Okay, so basically why I'm saying throw away is the better idea, because if anyone eats it, there is a high chance of food poisoning and all those issues. So it is always a better option to throw it away so that you will not be facing any issues. Okay, so canned food or food containers that are opened or damaged, throw away them. Okay, so I hope everyone got some basic idea, right? Okay, so now you might be having it out that okay, so we are going to throw the food and everything, so should we throw the containers or can we reuse those containers? Like assume that you bought some food item in a particular can which is of a good quality and the cost of it was too high, but you bought it for eating, but you forgot eating it, and you at the end you are now throwing the food away. So instead you will be throwing the food away and you can use the container for some other purposes, right? Which we use in most of our daily lives. We will be using multiple containers, right? Okay, so now let us go through how you can reuse it. So first of all, remove label if they are removable. So basically, if there are some stickers, you can remove them, because if there is a sticker or a label, if you give it for a victim, he'll be thinking that photo, like what it is on the photo, that is only containing inside. So he might be in a confusion. So that's the reason why, if possible, please remove the stickers, and then brush or wipe away any kind of thing is inside. So whatever, it might be dirt, it might be food, anything, please wash it carefully. Okay, you need to brush it properly. So wash can with soap and hot water if possible, soap, water and hot water if possible. Rinse the can properly and then sanitize it. Okay, the sanitization process will be the same, guys, like 15 minutes with soap, water and all those things. Okay, and then relabel it with the marker that you are giving what is inside it. Like assume that you are giving rice, so you'll be writing rice in that way, like that. And include the expiry date. So how many days you are expecting it will be. Like food, you can say that around 2 to 3 days is the maximum thing, guys. Even 2 to 3 days will be a lot of time. Okay, okay, and you need to make it properly. Okay, so similarly, the packaging of food. So packaging of food is also really important, guys, because you cannot package the food in any kind of things you want. Okay, because you need to plan it, because it need to be stored, it need to be airtight containers, like that it should be there. Okay, so throw away food containers with screw caps or any kind of lids or flip flops or anything, because they cannot be disinfected. Store food safely. So basically, those could be used for storing the food, because those containers, if they are resealable or repackable, you can send it, you can use them, right? Yes. So while the power is out, keep the refrigerator and freezer doors closed as much as possible. Throw away food in cardboard containers including juice and everything. So basically, even if there is a power cut in your home, it is always a best option to close the fridge door, guys. Like few might be thinking that opening the fridge door will make their room cool or anything like that, but the food inside it should be a bit cool, or the temperature of that should be a bit constant, right? So that is the reason why we will not open the fridge doors or anything if the power is off also, because the temperature, if it is inside, the temperature will be constant like that only. Okay, similarly, if water is contaminated with chemicals, so boil it with not will not remove the chemicals or make it safe for consumable. So if you might be thinking that any kind of water, heating it might resolve the bacteria or any kind of things which are inside it, but it is not going to resolve it, guys. So those are some kind of conditions you can just remember. Okay, so these are also the same things, guys, like few things that you can follow. So basically, you can go through these points, guys. Okay, okay, so I hope everyone got some basic idea about food and water. Okay, so in the next lecture, we will be going through safe drinking water. So how you can test it or how you can do it. Okay, okay, so let us meet in the next lecture. Thank you, thanks for watching.